Hello and welcome to my Yoga for Hips video. In today's routine, we'll focus on yoga poses to stretch the hips, the hamstrings, quadriceps, gluteals, psoas and the piriformis muscles. Some of the yoga poses also include additional stretches for the shoulders, lower back and chest. By stretching the hips regularly, you can help to improve your posture, reduce lower back pain, alleviate sciatic pain, and improve your overall suppleness. It's important to practice this routine regularly for it to be most beneficial, especially if you have a sedentary lifestyle and work at a desk. Remember to start slowly and listen to your own body, and only deepen each stretch with patience and after regular practice. Click like on this video and add it to a playlist to make it more accessible to do regularly. Also remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sarah Lane Therapies, to see future videos. So if you have more time and you'd like to start this practice with a breathing exercise, you can find a link below for my Yoga Breathing for Beginners video. Otherwise, support the outside of the knees, take your time and find a comfortable position lying on your back. We'll take a deep breath in, and as you exhale when you're ready, we'll bend the left leg, draw the knee into the chest, gently relaxing the back of the hip, and we'll circle the leg. A nice big circle, so you can either use the strength of the thigh to circle the leg, or you can support the outside of the leg with the hand if it feels more comfortable. So inhaling and exhaling nice and gently through the nose, and then we'll change direction. So making the circles as big or as small as feels comfortable. So this is just to warm up the hips, so really listen to your own body. We'll do one more in this direction, and then we'll gently draw the knee into the chest, give it a good squeeze, lift the sole of the foot up to the ceiling and lower the leg down to the ground, strengthening the thigh. And then we'll draw the right knee into the chest, have a gentle stretch and then circle the knee. So inhaling and exhaling nice and slowly through the nose. And then we'll change direction. So listening for any clicks, any tension, any tightness. This is also gently strengthening the abdominal muscles as you're working towards straightening the leg. We'll draw the knee in, give it a good squeeze, and then lift the sole of the foot up to the ceiling and then gently lower the knee down. We'll now bend the right knee, bring the sole of the foot onto the ground and lift the left leg up. Bending the knee, bring the outside of the ankle on the back of the right thigh to come into either needle posture. Thread your left hand between the legs, either hold the back of the right thigh or the front of the right calf, whatever feels comfortable. Check that the foot closest to your face, which is your left foot, the heel is pushing away, your foot is flexed. So this is to protect the knee joint. So pausing here for a few breaths, nice slow breathing. We'll take one more breath in. As you exhale, now lower the right sole of the foot onto the ground and we'll slide the left leg over to come into a reclined spinal twist in eagle legs. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower the legs over to the right and bring your arm out roughly in line with the shoulder, looking towards your left hand. You can use your right hand on top of the thigh to encourage a deeper stretch, only if it feels comfortable. Pausing here just for one or two more breaths, and then we'll release with the hand. Inhale when you're ready, bring your head into the center, bring your legs into the center and uncross the legs. And then we'll come into eye of the needle on the other side, so lifting the right leg up, bending the knee, bring the outside of the ankle on the back of the thigh, lift the foot off of the ground, so remember you can hold the back of the left thigh or the front of the left calf and encourage the knees towards the chest, and pause here. So eye of the needle pose stretches the glutes, the hips and the lower back. It also increases blood flow and circulation into the legs and the hips. And it's really good at relieving cramps and anxiety. To come out of this posture, we'll take a breath in. As you exhale, lower your left foot onto the ground, slide the right leg over the top. Bring the arms in line with the shoulders, take another breath in. And as you exhale, lower the legs over to the left and looking towards the right hand. So remembering you can use your left hand on your thigh to encourage a deeper stretch only if it feels comfortable. So spinal twists help release the lower back, and they stretch the back muscles, the glutes, and also open the shoulders. You may feel this across the abdomen as it also stretches the abdominal muscles and stimulates digestion. So inhale when you're ready, bring the head into the center, the legs into the center, uncross the legs, bring the knees into the chest, give them a good hug, gently rocking from side to side and maybe making 1 or 2 circles in each direction and then changing direction. Nice slow breathing. We'll do 1 more circle and then we'll draw the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze, then lower the soles of the feet onto the mat, turn completely onto your right hand side, supporting in front of the face with your hand, and come up straight into table posture. So the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and then when you're ready, we'll straighten the right leg, bring the sole of the foot onto the ground, step in the left hand and bring the right hand roughly in line with the shoulders. So we'll take a breath here. As you exhale, bend the knees, stretch over to the right, and inhale, straighten the leg, twist the torso and look up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, stretching across, and inhale, straighten the legs, stretching up. 1 more, exhale, bend the knees, stretch across, and inhale, straighten the legs, stretching up. This time we'll exhale, bend the knee, we'll pause into this position so we can rest the hand onto the thigh, so really encourage the stretch in the hips to open the hips. Nice slow breathing. Take a breath in. As you exhale, gently lower the hand down. We'll step down the knee and then we'll come into the same position on the other side. So taking your time, pointing the toes away, left hand in line with the shoulders. Take a breath in. Exhale, stretch across. Inhale, straighten, stretch up, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hips. Inhale, straighten the leg, twist the torso. Exhale, bend the knee, stretch across, and then we'll pause here again, opening the hips. Nice slow breathing. To come out of the posture, take your time, come back onto your knees, and then we'll prepare to come into pigeon posture. So walk the hands 1 space forward, draw the right knee up behind the right wrist, and gently slide back the left leg. So checking that your right leg is flexed or your foot is flexed, we'll stretch up to the ceiling, take a breath in. As you exhale, you can either rest on your forearms. If it feels more comfortable, you can lower down slightly, or you can rest your forehead or your chin completely on the mat. If you prefer, you can straighten the arms up overhead if you'd like a stretch in the upper back. So we'll pause here for a few breaths. Nice slow breathing, so observing where you feel this stretch. Do you feel a stretch on the outside hip of your right leg or on the front of your left leg? Now to come out of this posture, pushing the hands into the floor, supporting the weight of the body. If it feels more comfortable, you can bring the weight onto the elbows first and then come up. We'll step the left hand into the center, bend the left knee and turn and look behind you over your right shoulder, stretch behind you. You may be able to hold your foot just for a moment. Take a breath in, come into the center, bring the right hand into the center, stretch the left hand behind you. You may be able to bring your hand onto your ankle if you can. If you'd like to work deeper, you can work towards bringing the heel towards the hip, only if it feels comfortable. And then to come out of the posture, tuck under the toes, support the weight of the body on the floor, gently lower the leg down, and we'll step the knee back to come into table. We'll tuck under the toes, walk the hand 1 space forward, lower the chest towards the knees, lift the knees off of the ground and come into downward facing dog. So rocking the hips from side to side and bending in and straightening the knees. Really encourage the chest towards the knees, the stretches around the shoulders, the lower back and also the hamstrings. Well, inhale when you're ready, raise the left leg in the air, step the foot forward, and then come on the inside of the legs to come into wide leg standing forward fold. Then we'll bend the right knee, look up, and then bend the left knee. So working with your breath, we'll do this a couple of times on each side, just to stretch the hips, open the hips, and stretch the back of the hamstrings. And then we'll come into the center, rotate your right foot out, gently lowering down, come back onto the knees, and we'll come into pigeon in the other side. So lifting the left knee behind the wrist, stretching the right leg back, flexing the left foot. Inhale, look up towards the ceiling, and exhale, gently lowering down to wherever feels comfortable. So you may want to lower onto the forearms, you may feel more comfortable a little bit lower, or you may want to bring the forehead on the ground. Remember, you can straighten your arms up overhead if that feels more comfortable. So pausing here just for a few breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So the pigeon posture helps to open your hip joint. It also lengthens the hip flexor and strengthens the thighs, the gluteus muscles and the piriformis muscles. It also extends the groin and the psoas. So to come out of this posture, take your time once more, making your way up. We'll bring the right hand into the center, bend the right leg and twist to the left. Imagine you want to touch the left foot. Inhale back into the center, swap the hands, and we'll exhale, twist to the right, and again pause here. You may be able to take hold of the foot, and remember, if you'd like to have a deeper stretch, you can work the hip, heel towards the hip. Pause just for 1 or 2 breaths, and then we'll release. Tuck under the toes, gently lower the foot down, make your way slowly back onto your knees, tuck under the toes, and then we'll come into our downward facing dog again. So bending and straightening the knees. Downward dog really energizes the body, so it's good to have a good stretch in various locations. So rocking the hips from side to side, twisting the torso, and then we'll inhale and exhale through the nose. When you're ready, inhale the right leg in the air, step the foot forward, the other heel on the ground, and we'll come into our wide leg standing forward fold. If you have some blocks, you may want to use your blocks. Bring them into the center, and we'll bend and straighten each leg, and imagine that you want to touch the floor towards your foot. So working with your own breath, nice and slow, just 1 or 2 on each side. And then we'll inhale into the center, exhale now twisting towards the right, lowering the back knee onto the ground to come into dragon. So if you know you have any knee discomfort, you can fold over your mat and make an extra cushion for your knee. If you don't need this, you just can keep your mat as it usually is. So the most important thing in this position is that your right ankle stays underneath your knee. So don't allow it to go over your toes. And we'll bring in the blocks on the inside of the legs and just rest with the hands on top of the blocks. Relaxing the shoulders down the back and pausing here, nice slow breathing. So coming into a deeper stretch, we can slide the blocks out of the way, lowering the hands onto the floor, lowering the hips, lifting the chest and looking forward. To change the stretch very slightly, we'll step in the left hand, bring the right hand onto the bent knee, come onto the outside edge of the foot and twist towards the right, pausing here for 1 or 2 breaths. And then we'll inhale, come back into the center, and we'll come to lowering down. So we have 3 options. You can bring the blocks back in, or you can stay nice and high if this feels comfortable. The second option is bringing your elbows onto the block. You may want to use 2 blocks or 1 block. And then the third option, only if it feels comfortable and you have the flexibility, will bring the forearms to resting on the ground. And just pause here, just for a few breaths, observing where you feel the stretch in the body. So this is a really good posture for sciatica. To come out of the posture, support the weight of the body, slowly come back up. We'll heel to the foot in, bring the blocks in 1 more time, and then we'll rebend the back leg, twisting towards the left. Now we can stretch the hand back. If you can reach the foot, we can take hold of the foot, and only if it feels comfortable, we can work once more to drawing the heel towards the hip. Tuck under the toe and gently lower down. Or step back onto the knees, move the blocks out of the way, and then we'll come into our downward facing dog again. So bending and straightening the knees, pushing the chest towards the knees and walking out one leg and the other. So by rotating the belly button towards the walls on the side. You help to really stretch the back, stretch the hamstrings, stretch around the shoulders. Then we'll inhale, raise the left leg up, step the foot forward, spin the right heel on the ground and come onto the inside of the legs into wide-legged standing forward fold. And this time you may feel that you can go a bit deeper as you're lowering the chest towards each foot. Inhaling and exhaling nice and slowly through the nose. We'll do 2 on each side. Really opening the hips, stretching the hamstrings. And then we'll gently twist all the way around to come into dragon on the other side. So remembering, if you have any knee discomfort, you can fold over the mat to protect your knee, or you can just use the mat as it is, and we'll bring in the blocks. Check the ankle is below the knee, and we'll just pause here, resting on the thigh just for a moment, just observing how the stretch is on this side. And then when you're ready, lowering the hands onto the blocks, inhaling and exhaling. We can slide the blocks out of the way and see how that feels, only if it feels more comfortable. And then we'll step in the right hand, bring the left hand onto the knee, come to the outside edge of the foot and encourage the knee out to the left and looking towards your knee or behind you, wherever feels comfortable. Inhale, come into the center, sole of the foot back down, bring in the blocks. We can stay nice and high and come onto the elbows in 2 blocks or 1 block, or if it feels more comfortable, you can come straight down onto the floor. So remember to always listen to your own body. So dragon pose helps to stretch the back of the legs, the hips and the quadriceps. And now we'll inhale. When you're ready, bring your hands onto the floor, slowly come up, bring back in the blocks and gently rest your hands onto the blocks. Find a stable position, and then we'll bend the right knee, twist into the right and stretch the right hand behind the back towards the foot. You may be able to reach the foot. If you can, we'll take a breath in, and as you exhale, work towards bringing the heel towards the hip. Gently release, tucking under the toes, lowering down. We'll remove the blocks and come back once more onto the knees. Tuck under the toes and come up into our downward facing dog. So gently bending and straightening the legs, encouraging the chest towards the knees and encouraging the belly button to twist from side to stretch along the back, the shoulders. We'll inhale, raise the right leg up, stretch the foot forward, the left heel on the ground, and then we'll bring our hands into the center with the blocks, and we'll bend and straighten each leg, really encouraging a deep stretch in the hips, opening the hips, going to wherever feels comfortable. Rest in the center, bring the blocks behind you, and then we'll heel toe the feet into the center and gently lower down to sitting on the blocks. So your toes are out and the heels are in, hands in a prayer in front of the heart. Squeezing the legs together and at the same time pushing the palms together to open the legs, stretching on the inside of the hips, the outside of the hips. If you feel confident, you can lift off of the blocks and pause here just for a few breaths in Malasana squat pose. So remove the blocks when you're ready. Very gently take your time, come down to sitting. Remove the blocks out of the way, interlace the fingers around the toes and come into cobbler's pose. So first of all, we'll come in on your exhale, just gently lowering down, keeping the spine nice and tall. Pausing here. And then we'll inhale, tuck under the chin, come all the way back up. We'll go slightly deeper this time. We'll use the forearms on the inside of the legs to encourage a deeper stretch. Or take a breath in. As you exhale, keeping the spine nice and tall and encouraging the knees towards the mat. But remember, this is a posture you don't often stretch, so only working as comfortable, as deep as feels comfortable. On your inhale, slowly come up. We'll support the outside of the knees, draw the legs in, and then we'll gently rock the knees from side to side. Or if it feels more comfortable, you can straighten the knees Give the legs a little wobble. And then turn to the side and gently take your time and lower all the way onto the mat. Draw now in the knees. Gently rock from side to side just a few times and then lower the feet all the way down onto the mat to come into Shavasana. So you can pause here just for a few breaths. So we're coming towards the end of the practice. So if you have more time, I would recommend listening to my guided meditation to finish the class. Otherwise, you can finish here. Well, inhale, sweep the feet together, draw the arms up overhead, have a full body stretch. And on your exhale, draw your knees into your chest, give them a good hug. Gently rock from side to side, then bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. Rock completely onto your right hand side, support the weight of the body, and come up to find a comfortable sitting position. So the spine nice and tall, gently relaxing the shoulders down the back. Just take a moment just to observe how you're feeling. How is your physical body? How is your breath? And how is your mind? So if you enjoyed this video today, please remember to like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't already to my YouTube channel, Sarah Lane Therapist. And we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart and we'll finish with Namaste. Namaste. And thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon.